The second actor, player in the fall of man, remember we're talking about action and consequences, is the devil. And the Lord calls the devil. Remember, at that point in time, the devil had taken possession of the snake. So the curse God placed on the serpent were in twofold. To the physical serpent and to demon in the serpent, the Lord said, between your seed and a seed, it shall bruise your head and you shall bruise his heel. Talking about Christ that is coming, that will bruise his head. Yes, Christ bruised the head of the devil, and that is why today we have salvation. Talking about the dominion the Son of Man we have over him. God foretold of the redemption process, which eventually came to pass when Christ came into the world to take the sins of the world away. So Satan got his own judgment. And to the woman, the Lord did not curse the woman. I want us to take note of it, because the second part of the Sunday school is going to be consequence and causes. I want us to know the distinction. To the woman, God said, I will multiply your sorrow. That is why women are always looking for what is not missing. They're always, trying to know what tomorrow holds. Hardly will you see an happy woman. There will be something upsetting them, because they invited sorrow. A woman that is not born again cannot have peace, because the consequence of the fall of man upon the woman is for the woman not to have peace. She invited it. The moment she listened to the devil and disobeyed God, the woman invited sorrow. And that is why when a woman gives a life to Christ, the joy of the Lord becomes her strength. So every woman under the sound of my voice, if you want to be free from the consequence of what Eve did at the fall, our action that contributed to the fall of man, if you want to be free from that consequence, give your life to Christ so that sorrow will be out of your life. The consequence of the woman listening to the devil and disobeying God, the consequence is not limited to sorrow. When it comes to conception and delivery, it's always pain. But remember the story of the midwives. The Hebrew women, they gave birth with ease. The Hebrew women are the types of women that have given their life to Christ. So for the consequence of the fall of man, the role the woman played, for the consequence not to be upon a woman, the woman needs to be saved, so that like the Hebrew women, she can have free conception, pain-free conception and delivery. And upon the man, God did not curse the man, but he caused the ground for the sake of man. God caused the ground for the sake of man. Because the only way man can feel the pain of his action was for what he depended on solely to be cursed. God caused the ground. When man decided to partake of the fall, actions that led to the fall of man, he didn't think of the consequence. The consequence to him is that he will toil. He will be given to hard labor. And that is why you see a man today, he will work so hard and he gets a little. And he will work so hard, what comes out is not encouraging. It can be likened to the thorns and thistles. And eventually he will have to now rely on God. And that is why Yoruba people will say, Iṣẹ́ kọ́ lówó. Iṣẹ́ ò lè dówó fún ẹni tí ò ní Jésù. Oore ọ̀fẹ́ Ọlọ́run ló máa rí gbà crumbs. So which means that when you now detach yourself from the consequence of the action of man at the time of the fall of man, you will begin to live in abundance. You will not be given to hard labor. You will not have to eat from crumbs. You will not have to sweat. You see men sweating, hard labor. What they didn't experience ab initio, because everything was available to them. They had access to everything God created. And then man invited death. After all the labor, at the end of it, it will be dust to dust. What men did at the fall, they did not think about the consequences. Now, you have taken note of that. Before you take any action, think ahead. I want to commit adultery. What are the things that are likely to happen? As a man, am I impregnate this lady? Am I ready to have a second wife? Can I cope with the cost of maintaining a second woman? When a child begins to grow, will I be able to take care of that child? A lot of men are quick to have side chicks. Yeah. And when the lady gets pregnant, she will say, I'm not aborting. Meanwhile, the man doesn't have the resources to keep the lady. You don't have the resources, and you're sleeping with another woman. The woman in the house, you have not fed her. She's still struggling with you to make ends meet. And you're think before you act. You can admire a woman that is beautifully and wonderfully made without even sinning in your heart, not to talk of going to ask her out to the extent of laying her in bed and putting her in family way. For every action there is consequence. You are diabetic and you will eat swallow, gari. You will take the food they ask you not to eat. The one they ask you to eat, like unripe plantain, you will say it is not sweet. You will go for cake. You will go for ice cream. What are you saying? Diabetes come quickly and kill me. That is the consequence of that action. You wake up in the morning, you're going out. You meet your landlady on the way, or your landlord. You walk by. You are too proud to greet the old man. Then when he brings quick notice, you will be angry. Did you think of the consequences of your action when you're being disrespectful?